Alright, what's up guys? This is my very first motovlog. I wouldn't consider myself a motovlogger just yet. Don't get ahead of ourselves, but anyway, today is Sunday, March 6th. This is coming to you just north of Dallas, city of Plano. Beautiful night. Low 70s right now. Feel sorry for you suckers living up north. Come down south. Well, I should take that back. Don't come down here. It's too many people. But anyway, leaving my neighborhood. Go for a nice Sunday evening ride. It's amazing, an area of like 4 million people, and it's pretty dead Sunday nights. It's a real good time to go riding. A little bit about me. I'm mid-30s. Fortunately, this will be the last year I can say mid-30s with a straight face. So we turned 37 this year. Just started riding. I wouldn't really call it a midlife crisis because I don't think I've ever honestly really grown up. But I always wanted a bike. But both my parents, they had their fair share of friends growing up that were killed or maimed on bikes, so they were really dead set against us as kids having bikes. So just never really got any exposure to them, but that's a second. Aside from the occasional dirt bike ride up north, I should say northern Wisconsin where I grew up. In fact, I can actually remember as a little kid, I don't know, it's probably like 4 or 5, one block up on the intersection. It was summer, so I'm playing outside in the front yard. And right in front of my friend's house, a block up the road, I heard this crash. And it was a man and wife that had probably been sideswiped or something, but they were involved in an accident, and they were just laying there right in the middle of the intersection, moaning, and they were hurt pretty bad. I think I don't remember the details. I was so young, but that kind of stuck with me. So I was always kind of afraid of bikes. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say afraid, but afraid of what other drivers might do to me on my bike. I should say that. But I don't know, I've got about, almost 1,000 miles under my belt. And, just kind of take the healthy respect of the other cars and remembering that you're on a motorcycle, taking out blind spots, anticipating what people are going to do. Like, is this guy going to stay in my lane? Is this guy right here, is he going to go? But, I get some weird clicking. I hope that's... Just trying out this new Sena Bluetooth setup. So I've got a Sena audio backpack on my GoPro, and then Sena 10S. On my helmet. And not as easy to set up as I thought it was going to be. I wanted to get out here about an hour ago, and both of the firmware on the headset and the backpack, or audio pack, needed to be updated before they would even pair. Like, come on, guys. These two products existed at the same time. It just tells me that they were never tested with each other before shipping the new 10R. Anyway, I think unfortunately companies have gotten spoiled, the video game industry, requiring downloads on day one. Anyway, enough about that. Hopefully this works. The mischief. So let me talk about my bike. I am on a 1991 BMW K100RS. Pretty sweet bike. I mean, it was, it is definitely borderline too heavy for a new rider like me. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it unless, you're have a reasonable level of fitness and you're a tall guy, so you can kind of flat-foot it easily and just not be too intimidated by the weight. But I was definitely afraid of dumping it in the beginning, just because when you read all the stories, you watch the videos online, everyone seems to dump their bike within the first month or so. It's usually either something low, like you're doing a low speed maneuver, or it just, falls off the stand, whatever, simple stuff. But, since I am a bigger guy, I really did not want to go the route of the 250 starter bike. Sure, if you're 180 pounds, 150 pounds, whatever, small guy, girl, whatever. And yeah, I would say, sure, get the 250. Don't kill yourself right away. Because I'm not going to lie, this thing is fast. I mean, it'll do 0 to 60, 3.9. It's capable of almost 150 miles an hour. My buddies with 250s, they can maybe break 80, 90 with going downhill, wind at their back, that type of thing. But, this thing will, I gotta get it first. This thing will obliterate them. But I like to, I like to cruise for the most part. But every once in a while, I'll gun it. I would say I probably need some new tires. It has a pretty good front end vibration at about 100. So I haven't taken it much past indicated 100 on the Speedo. I think the Speedo is about 5 mile an hour fast. I don't think I've actually done the ton yet, but close enough. And like I said, given the front end vibration, won't be doing that anytime soon. So yeah, more to the history of the bike. So I got this thing on eBay. Sight unseen, came from Southern California. It was owned by a gentleman that used to own he started a Harley dealership, Barger Harley, and I believe it was Corona, California. And fortunately, the poor guy passed away. I believe he died in his sleep. I did some research. Unfortunately, I just don't remember what the details were, if it was an aneurysm or whatever. But long story short, it was an unplanned death, and I think part of liquidating the estate, the guy that I bought this from, he's a motorcycle wholesaler on eBay, and so I guess he had his entire collection. They were all, very low miles, cool bikes, nothing. I guess just a standard run-of-the-mill bike. They all had something special, or just in general a rare bike. Like, you know, this one wasn't just the K100; it was the K100RS, and anyway, so yeah, kind of lost my train of thought there. This riding and talking thing is a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be, but that's probably just because I'm not an experienced rider. This area is called Shops at Legacy. It's a pretty nice area. I haven't really been here too much. It's kind of funny. I don't know if these people can actually hear me when I talk. I think I'm insane just sitting here talking to myself. Come on, green. Oh, man. So one thing I read about this bike is that it puts off a lot of heat. And I started riding this thing in, I guess, I don't know, December time frame. And, you know, obviously it's cold, you know, 30s, 40s during the day. And I've been riding pretty much most days I have the chance. I haven't started riding to work every day. But now that it's, you know, 70s, I can really start to feel that heat. It's just coming right up my leg, right through my leathers. I think there's a little bit of the part of the exhaust. You know, most of the exhaust is kind of either tucked up underneath the head, or you know, it's obviously off to the side of the bike. But there's this one little piece of it right after it comes out of the headers that's you know, like right underneath my leg. 350Z wants a little. Fortunately, not going to give it to him. No, I just wanted my lane. I had a 350Z. I do not recommend them. I had one for a year. I just moved to Dallas. I moved to Dallas about 4 years ago to start my job, and I had a Corvette for, I don't know, 15 years at that point. No, sorry, 10. And AC on it was broken. I'd never really needed the AC before, so I never really cared. But in Dallas, you need AC in the summer. So put a bunch of money into it, fixed it myself, and it had sprung a leak. Or I should say it was never really sealed. So obviously all the Freon leaked out, and I was really frustrated. But I think at that point, you know, it wasn't my first attempt to fix it. You know, I'd gone through about 4 different AC pumps, and then thought, screw it, I'm just going to buy another car. It's too damn hot, you know, it's like 100 degrees in the garage. Just really didn't feel like working on it. So I got a 350Z. A 2006, I believe. First year with there was a slight update on the tail lights. They're like LED tail lamps, or it just looked like LEDs. But anyway, it was the one with the tail lamps had been updated, and I think xenon bulbs up front, and a 300 horsepower engine. That's what it was. That was the big deal. The 300 horse engine. But yeah, that thing, the 300 horsepower was not quick. It only had 260 foot-pounds of torque, if I remember right. It was about 100 foot-pounds down from the Corvette, and it was definitely noticeable. And they're extremely common. There's something about, riding around and seeing your exact car. And it was like a pearl white with the tail spoiler. So I would see pearl whites without the tail spoiler. And then one day I pulled up right next to my identical twin car. And I thought, man, I need to get something else. Stupid. Which in itself sounds really stupid. Anyway, then I got I had that for a year. I replaced it with a 2006 BMW Z4M Roadster. It's got the 3.2 liter S54 from the E46 M3. That's a badass car. I mean, Z4s are not uncommon, but the M Roadsters, those things are rare. I think they made either like 15 or 1,800 M Roadsters over a period of 3 years for the U.S. market. So yeah, it's not common at all. In fact, I don't think I've actually seen one in the area. I actually saw, even more rare and more cool is the Z4M Coupe, produced same range, 2006 through 2008. I remember back then Jeremy Clarkson called that car the best handling car in the world, which I've never driven, so I don't really know, but he's pretty brutal on most cars, German cars especially, and so I consider that pretty high praise for any car if he says it's the best anything. But yeah, anyway, so I saw 3 or 4 different ones on the same day here in Dallas. They were different colors, so they were obviously different colors, different vehicles. But yeah, so they made like 1,200 of those, I think, over 3 years. So anyway, needless to say, it's not something you see very often. And it's got a cool motor. I've always been, attracted to vehicles that have unique engines, like this BMW K100RS. It's got, they call it the flying brick because so the way, if you're not familiar, typical 4-cylinder bike, usually the pistons are perpendicular in the frame, so they're basically firing up and down, rotating on the same axis as the wheels. On this bike, the engine is actually mounted with the pistons firing off to the side, like not like a boxer, but like that, where it's parallel to the road, but the axis of rotation is perpendicular to the wheels. So it's got a really unique look. And then this is the first year for the 4-valve per cylinder K100. Originally showed up, I believe, in '89 on the K1. I guess this bike is actually essentially a K1 with the K100 fairing style. So it's the same frame. I have no idea what the difference is between the frame on a K1 and previous K100s, 83 through 90, but I don't know if they're slightly longer or what. But anyway, so yeah, it's unique in its own way. Get right up to this guy. Do a shitty break. That sucked. I'm just kind of at this point riding aimlessly, going down Legacy. I think at some point this will... Actually, I think it actually already has curbs south. No, Custer. Custer goes north-south, so we are still heading east at this point. Getting close to Highway 75. Connects downtown Dallas to Plano and all the other suburbs up north. I gotta give this guy some space. I don't know if he's gonna dart out in front of me because that guy's making a left in front of him. But yeah, I should at this point thank all you MotoVloggers out there. Really inspired me to do this. I mean, really inspired me to just get out and get a bike. I don't remember what came first, the urge to get a bike or a MotoVloggers, but I don't know. I'm going to try to avoid making all the stupid noises that some of you guys are trademarked for. Seems like after everyone realized how much money PewDiePie was making on YouTube, everyone started squealing and sounding like 5-year-old girls. But whatever works, man, I guess. That's what the people want. Give it to them, I guess. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Cycle Cruiser. He seems like a really cool dude. I'm similar to that in that I don't really care riding with other people. I mean, I do like riding with people, don't get me wrong, but when I'm in the moment, when I'm riding, I like feeling alone. And then when I'm at the destination or taking a break, then it's cool to have your buddies around, talk to, and see where you want to go next. Yeah, I'm the same way with snorkeling. My wife and I, we like to go to the Caribbean a lot, and when we go snorkeling, I'm by far the adventurous one, and I'll just take off, look for stuff, and I don't even really like to dwell in one area too long. I like to try to see as much of the ocean floor as I can. And if I've got a camera rolling, then I figure I can just go back and look at it later. But man, yeah, that's something I could rant on for a bit. So underwater filming it's a challenge because the water filters the color spectrum. I believe it's blue light only makes it down, I don't know, something like 2 feet. So if you are just floating on the surface and you're kind of just if your camera's at the plane of right at the top surface of the water, everything more or less looks okay. But once you start sinking the camera further down, deeper, all of a sudden everything will take on a green hue, and that's because you've lost blue. And there are filters to correct that, but I wasn't really cognizant of that, I guess. I mean, I knew it happened, and I thought, well, I know I can adjust it after the fact, So no big deal. So, get this GoPro and I'll get the underwater housing and it's filtered after. Well, shit. I mean, I had like 150 gigs of video footage. So it's just not really practical. I don't have time to sit there and post process all these things and stitch them together and whatever. So that's the first thing. You need a filter for underwater footage. Obviously it goes for still cameras too. But then, okay, so now the second piece of it is the the pole. So a pole kind of has a couple purposes. One, obviously it lets you get a little bit closer to the action without having to actually endanger yourself. Get too close to the coral. Maybe you want to shoot a real shallow spot that's full of urchins or something. But point is, it extends your reach. The other nice thing about some of the poles, especially if they're meant for underwater use, is that they will float. So it gives you an extra bit of safety. Let's say somehow you become separated from your camera pole. Those float to the surface and you can get it, no big deal. Anyway, so I got all my GoPro stuff right before a trip to St. Thomas. And holy shit, is it windy. Not really digging this wind. Anyway, so yeah, I got all my GoPro stuff right before I went to St. Thomas. And so, I didn't really get to try anything else. Maybe, okay, this camera pole sucks, let me get a better one, type of thing. What is that? Oh, shit. I know what that clicking noise is. We're going to have to make a stop. Still to this day, I forget to put on my helmet strap sometimes. Kind of embarrassing. So let's just take a quick little stop in Sammy's Club and fix up my strap. Oh, man. Ooh. What was that? Shit. Hit that bump and my warning light came on. That's no good. Wonder what that's all about. Anyway, shit. That kind of broke my train of thought. Now I've got a warning light staring at me. Special. Woo! That is nice. This bike's got two personalities. Crank the throttle, just wants to go. Well, once you're over about 5,000 RPM, it wants to go. I should check and see if my taillight is out. Maybe that bump caused the taillight to turn off. This warning light, from what I remember, is only for the brake light. So when you start the bike, the light's on, and then you after you hit both brakes, the front brake and the rear brake, the light goes out. I think it's basically verifying the sensors. So yeah, I don't know if I'm sorry. I don't think it's verifying the sensors. I think it's verifying that both brake controls illuminate the brake light. So I'm gonna be rolling with no tail light right now. So I've got some high vis on my high vis green on my black riding gear. So people shouldn't be completely oblivious to my presence, but cops sure would not like to see me rolling around without a taillight. So let's just take a quick peek before I turn up here on Preston. Yeah. That stuff kind of sucks. Okay. Let's see. What's going on? Yes. Side stand turns the bike off. So I am hoping that I can start the bike again. Oh, Jesus. Holy shit. I wish I had my GoPro on my helmet. The whole fucking light came off. Wow. Alright, warning light off. We are good to go. Fuck it, let's do some more riding, man. I'm not done yet. I am not done. I think right now I am about 10 minutes from home. Couldn't quite get with my foot. Still working my low speed maneuvering. Anyway, about 10 minutes from home, but instead of heading, this is Beltline right here. That goes east-west. This up here is Preston. Goes north-south. That would take me home, but I think I'm going to go to Addison. Missed the gear. Not really sure what it is with the trans on this thing, but I do miss gears a lot. You know, I've read that you need to be assertive with this gearbox. You gotta tell it what you want to do, and do it with some authority. Otherwise, you may just get neutral. I don't know if that's because this is a dry clutch. I don't know if having a wet clutch helps at all. But whatever we've got, the best. Need to see if that's somehow adjustable. I suspect there's not really much I can do. Seems like I'd do it at least. Here we go. Ferrari dealership. Someday. We've got, that was a Ferrari dealership. Up here we've got Porsche, Audi, and then over by my work, we've got Lamborghini of Dallas. Be interested to go into one of those dealerships and just see what the overall reception is. I like riding at night. Remember as a kid, I really enjoyed riding my bicycle at night. There's something about it. It seemed like I could ride faster. I like watching the shadow of the spokes. Only 40 through here. My speedo's a bit off. I know I'm not doing an indicated 50-ish. I think I'm doing the neighborhood of 45. But yeah, I see a lot of cops on this road. Man, I still really do not. Thanks for watching. I'm going to try to do more of these the next week. It's going to be all rain, so it'll be a while. Maybe I'll give you time to edit this and see how that goes. But yeah, until then, this is Tubes signing off.